Right behind me, we have the beautiful Nuova Jolly 33cc. Nuova Jolly is an Italian-built company, been around for 60 years and owned by the same family throughout. Hopefully you saw part 1 of this part 2 series that dropped last week, which had the 38cc, the bigger brother to the 33. Now we're gonna jump on this one and take a rip around. Let's go have some fun. Before we head out there, I wanted to show you the hull bottom, similar to the 38, as you may have seen. It has a very sharp entry, something like 70 degrees here at the bow. You have a lifting strake coming up here, another one, and then the chine that opens up from a narrow little entry here, and it gets real thick towards the transom. It's almost like an inshore boat, how it kind of breaks up in steps, and I think there's like a 24 or 27 degree dead rise even at the keel. So very sharp entry. Then you have these tubes, which I really do feel help when the boat jumps out of the air and comes down. It like almost floats down easily, and then you really don't feel any vibration or anything when you do hit the water. So it's a special feeling you get on these ribs. We've ridden on a few of them now, and this is exactly the same. It's an experience we recommend if you ever get the opportunity to try it yourself. So what we're gonna do now, blowing pretty good here. The wind definitely picked up right out of Port Everglades. No, you can't see it in the video as usual, but it's 2 to 3 with some 4s, I would say. Let's see what 33 can do. Head sea right now. Trimmed down at the moment, jumped on plane pretty quick. You can tell the difference, what the 5 feet makes between the 38 and the 33, to be completely honest, but it did run nice. Again, it's decent seas, especially when you're going into the head sea. Cut through it pretty nice. Different distribution, you're not elevated like the 38, a little more snug in here. Very nice ride. It's a day I probably would have rather stay home. If you can see, Eric can barely keep the camera on me. So what I can say is you can definitely tell the difference between the 38 and the 33. We were kind of spoiled early on. Different distribution. The 5 feet does make a difference, but it's a rough day out here. I would say we were probably hitting some 5-footers back there, but it did run smooth. I was actually sitting back, relaxed, pretty comfortable, considering going into a head sea on a 33-footer. Runs incredibly nice with the 400 V10s. A ton of low-end torque. We jumped on plane and absolutely nothing flat. Now we're gonna head back in and take a little walk around the boat to show you all the detail. Hold on. Woo. All right, we're back in. So it really got a little hairy out there. There was no wind at all in the morning. They were telling us that it was gonna be flat calm, so I'm actually glad we got to see some chop. So I noticed I had to run this boat a little bit different, give it a little bit more trim to get the nose out of the water, but once you dial it in, ran quite nice. We transferred boats, cameramen, all of us, gear and everything from one boat to the other in that 2 to 3, 4-footer out there, which would be pretty much impossible on a regular fiberglass boat. Here we were doing it where the tubes were set up as fenders, so absolutely no problem. Linked up together, passed everything along, and moved on with no problem. You can see why these boats are such great tenders. Being in South Florida, docking up at sandbars and things like that, really doesn't get much more comfortable than this. Going into a restaurant, not having to worry about what you bump into is great, especially for the newer boaters out there. Checking out the bow first, you have a step up that goes into a really nice sunbed. Then you have another step up here to the bow if you were to need it to get off at the dock. Underneath this is quite a bit of storage, but if you want to just sit back and relax, this is one of the best spots to do it. So if I remove the upholstery, I roll it up, you have some additional decking here. If you want to get that completely out of the way, you can have this completely decked out or with non-skid. Check out the amount of storage you have underneath here. You can store all your life jackets, all your gear out of the way here. And then you even have an additional access up to your anchor locker from the space as well. So you can see these tubes are air filled. I can bounce on here, and I was going to attempt a backflip, but I probably would end up in serious critical condition if I did that, so I'm not gonna do it. Low profile visor right here with the windshield. Perfect height to just get up and over my head, at least, right here in the helm area. You have a Raymarine MFD, your vessel view, Hertz head unit, Raymarine VHF, your switch panel, conveniently placed right there. Bow thruster, ignition switches under that, steering wheel, and your throttle. Stepping down into the console cabin, you have what seems to be a larger space than the 38. Berth for two. You can remove this thing out of the way, and a private head. And I don't think it has a shower, but a really nice setup in here. They have a very simple leaning post right here with cushions to match, ergonomic piping here with hardtop. Refrigerator along the back side of the leaning post, so you can keep all your stuff nice and cool, or put your shoes if you can't find another place to hide them. Obviously, we're doing like 70 miles an hour on this thing. And you have this function similar to the 38. You have your sink set up here, and I'm sure you can add a grill or some of that nature to have a really cool kitchen setup on your 33cc. Here in the back, you have a great U-shaped bench seat. One of the best parts, besides having the actual seating, is the storage you gain underneath. They did something nice there with the upholstery, doing a flip back, so you can get this and lift this out of the way. You can put all your fenders, you got some batteries in here, and then check out the bilge. I notice you actually have to lift this thing up, lay it back, and then you can get into the bilge, but you have a great access here with a ton of space. You can get to your batteries, again, your bilge pumps back there, all your valving, transducers, whatever you stick in here, and you can also use this as additional storage. I went ahead and jumped back here in the transom so you can see what kind of space you have back here. It's great to be able to jump in and out of the boat, and this is usable if you want to throw some flip-flops or fins, whatever it is that you want to do. This boat holds 125 gallons of fuel, 24 gallons of fresh water, and it's the first one that they set up with the V10 400s. As you imagine, has a ridiculous amount of low-end torque. Getting on plane feels like it happens in 3 seconds. They assume it's going to do something similar in speed to the 38 over there, but they have not tested it exactly. I think they did 60 something miles an hour here today, but it was, you know, kind of rough offshore. But they're going to dial this in, and it really is a super nice setup having the V10 400s on the 33cc. Being able to sit back and relax in this area right here is fantastic, and this area right here below me comes up and doubles up as a dining room table, so you can really transform this into an excellent entertainment space. Grab some lunch, turn on some music, and enjoy the day with your friends and family. In addition to the hardtop, they also have this carbon fiber pole, which you can open up like this, extend out. I won't do it all the way, but goes somewhere like so, and then there's a mast that actually connects back here, so you can cover this whole dining room space and really make it enjoyable. And these covers really drop the temperature 10 or 15 degrees depending where you're at. And there you have our full walkthrough on the Nuova Jolly 33. And as we gain more experience on these rib style boats, the more impressed we become on how they handle offshore seas. It was something that really caught us off guard, but it's incredible to experience it, and we definitely recommend you take the opportunity if you get it and try it yourself. These things are absolutely gorgeous, and we're excited to see more and more of them here in the United States. So once again, we are your friends at Center Consoles Only. We appreciate you watching the video all the way through, and thank you always for your support.